He feels confident, doesn't he? Am I good to start?
Yeah, minus spiders.
Hey guys, Raj Sanga of Cardio Security. Welcome back to the channel. We are here again with my E30 M3 Convertible barn find. Now, if you've not seen the episode where we reveal this car, there'll be a link in the description. Make sure you watch that. So in today's episode, we are going to try and get this car to start. So guys, sit back and hopefully you'll enjoy this episode. Right, first things first, let's pop the bonnet. There you go. Yes, looks very tired and dirty. It's probably seen better days. Right, let's try and crank it over, shall we? It's got a towed alarm, which we know does work. So that's one positive, I suppose. It's got some security. Okay, lights are on the dash. Let's crank it over. Well, the battery's definitely got some juice in there. Yeah, it's like there's no spark whatsoever. Yeah, guys, it's not gonna fire. It's not gonna fire. Right, I think we need to bring in Jay and see what the plans are and what the next course of action is for this M3. So guys, as you can see, it's cranking quite well. Battery's holding charge, but there's no spark. And it could be one of, I don't know, 10, 15 things. And this is where the workshop team are gonna perform some magic and get this car started. So Jay, come.
Start.
Head technician here at CAS. The barn find.
The barn find, E30.
In your head, have you got an idea of what you're going to do first, or are you just going to try loads of different things and see what works?
There's a few basic things on E30s that you should check anyways. I mean, it's any old car. Make sure you got fuel, you got spark, you've obviously got power and stuff.
It's
like
cranking.
That. It's cranking. It's just doesn't want to fire up. I mean, it could be something simple. It could be something quite expensive. It could be something quite cheap. So we're going to basically work through and make sure we have spark. We got fuel.
Could it be something as simple as dirty spark plugs?
It can be.
Could it be just a fuel pump?
Can be. But then again, it could be your injectors, could be your fuel lines blocked, clogged, car's been sitting there, replacing fuel lines. Is
the fact that the previous owner drove it only last year?
That's a good sign, because we know then the car's been running, but then we don't know where it's been stored, what's got to it. I mean, looking at the condition, it's a barn find. What generally happens in barns, you're gonna have mice and rats chew through shit, but it doesn't look like it's got to that stage, which is brilliant news.
Certainly more interesting than fitting car audio, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit different.
That's why, look, he's smiling. Normally when he has to do car audio or he's running lines for airlift, he's like, oh God. Oh God, but now he's like, I'm working on an E30 and an M3. So look guys.
I do like them.
He does love his E30s. So guys, I'm gonna leave it here. I'm gonna leave Jay, Aman and Steve to crack on with the car. I'll come back in at some point and do a sort of midway update, see where we're at. Parts are gonna arrive today or tomorrow. The battery, I think we're gonna go and collect that later on today, the new battery.
Yep.
So yeah, pretty cool guys. Fingers crossed, we can get this baby started. Jay? Nice one.
Nice one.
I'll see you in a bit.
Cool.
So I just had a call from the team back in the workshop. They feel the car might start. Jay's over here. What are you saying, Jay? Actually, I'll come this side. You all right?
What's up?
So in brief, what have you done apart from having a dirty rag there?
Dirty rag. Check spark. We got the spark. We got fuel coming in, which was a good sign.
Nice.
Obviously, that fuel pump and filter's been changed recently. Let's just have a quick look. So we found.
Well, you got the fuel pump in your pocket?
Nah.
Oh.
Got a ring terminal here.
Okay.
With some shredded off wire.
Nah, it can't be that. You
So
sure?
it was hanging on, so I don't think it was getting the full power through there. You got the key?
Yeah.
Give it a whirl.
He feels confident, doesn't he? Am I good to start?
Yeah, minus spiders.
Have you seen the size of them?
Yeah, there's cobwebs everywhere in it.
Shall we?
Go on.
Oh, on the button.
Yeah, so she is running.
Hold on. Okay, she's running quite well.
Yeah, it's not bad. Bear in mind, we haven't done any oil changes or anything yet. As you heard, the belt's a bit squeaky. So they're a bit old. Yeah, they're a bit old.
Shall I leave it running or?
You can turn it off. So yeah, we're getting a few parts in the next couple of days. So we'll be doing a service, plugs, all the filters, air filter. Basically trying to get it ready for an MOT. So
Are we going to change the fuel pump or are you happy with the fuel pump?
No, I'm just going to change it out.
Okay.
As well as the fuel filter as well. We don't know, obviously I said before, how long it's been sitting there, what type of crap's in it. So once all that side's done,
wow,
we know it's running relatively good. We will be putting some engine flush, oil flush, radiator flush in there, just to clean out any crap in there.
Are you happy?
Yeah. Well,
did you think
it's a big yeah.
Did you think that you're going to be on here for ages?
It could have been. It could have been.
That was my concern as well. Look, as I said right at the beginning, the previous owner, did drive the car last year, and before that, he was using it as daily.
I mean,
but you know what happens? Sometimes you park these cars up for a year, and it's got fuel in there. It just clogs up, and it just won't start.
It's like these cars, although it's an older car and it can be relatively simple, they can be quite.
Could be labour intensive and time consuming just to find the fault.
To be fair, it could have been anything. It could have been down to the ECU, which thankfully it's not.
Sure.
You know, the car fires up and it runs.
Right, guys. I'm going to get back into my office. I'll leave the team here to crack on with the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
Replace all the parts and so on. I'll be back at the end of this episode to give you an overview of what the guys have changed, and let's book it in for an MOT then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice one. Guys, see you in a bit. Guys, we are back with the E30 M3 Convertible. Jay is finishing off a few bits, including changing the fog lights, so I won't disturb him yet. The reason why we're changing the fog lights is obviously we're having to check all the bulbs and make sure everything works, because we are going to take the car for an MOT. And when Jay took the fog lights out, the original fog lights, they disintegrated. Literally one just fell apart. As you can see, that's the rear section and that's the other one. So these are not reusable. And I managed to find a set of original OEM BMW fog lights for an E30, be it probably a 325i, but it's the same fog light, on eBay for £40. We've tested these new fog lights. In fact, they look too good now, because if you look at the rest of the car, bear in mind guys, we still have not cleaned the car. So the cleanest part now are those fog lights that I purchased off eBay. You may just have noticed there's a little hole in the bumper here. Now, if you recall, there were some, I thought they were just reflectors. They weren't reflectors, they were actually side lights. They weren't even plumbed in, they were just literally thrown in. There's a bit of cable there. So we took the bumper off because the bumper needed realigning. Took those side reflectors off, or side lights, whatever you want to call them. There was a switch that wasn't working, Jay, is that correct?
Fog light switch wasn't mating, so we took that apart, cleaned the contacts and the springs and everything, and that's working now.
The front number plate is perished, as you can see. It's half hanging off. That will never pass an MOT. The rear plate seems okay, although there's a little bit of bleeding. So to get it through an MOT, I'm gonna need fresh plates, which I've got here. Was it a mammoth of a challenge? Because I know yourself, Steve, and Aman were a little bit concerned initially.
It didn't crank first of all, then we got it started, then it was missing a bit, but then because we didn't have the plugs then, so the plugs
I was just about to put my hand on there and I realised that is just...
Yeah, this is all from the inside.
Yeah. All right, I best not touch it.
Yeah, so we got the car running. We even drained the old fuel from the fuel tank, fresh fuel.
Nice, nice.
New fuel filter, fuel pump, oil filter, air filter, plugs, HT leads were relatively new.
Yeah.
So we left them, belts, fan sensors, went through the electric, so...
Well, let's do that now, shall we? Check the indicators first. That one's flashing fast, is that because of the fog?
Might be a bulb out then. It's an old car, you know, so you got sometimes, that's possibly a bulb, so that's a front one. So
okay.
It was working, but obviously bulb needs changing.
Back one, shall we check the back ones as well?
Yep, all good. Yep.
Brake lights?
Yep.
Lights themselves, are they on?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Let's start it up. Oh, on the button. On the button, guys. Now, I have noticed that although it does idle fairly well, it hunts a little bit, doesn't it? Get some revs through it.
So there's a slight little hunt on it. Obviously, bear in mind, we haven't taken it on the road to give it a blast and stuff yet.
Have you checked the disc and pads?
Disc and pads, they are surface rusted, but they will clean away and it does stop on the buttons.
Well, I'll leave you to it.
Yep.
I'll come back in a few minutes. We'll get the shutter up. We'll just take it for a drive.
Cool, no worries, I'll give you a shout.
Nice one. Right, should start up on the button. There we go. I'm just going to drive it around the car. Actually, I don't even need my seatbelt. I'm not going on the main road. So, I'm just going to drive it around the car park and test the brakes and see if it's sort of steering straight as well. No knocks or bangs. That was my seatbelt. Seems fine. Let's check those brakes. Okay, decent. Reverse gear. Yeah, decent. Braking power is good. Driving in a straight line. Guys, it's not so bad. So, the next thing now, apart from going round and round, is to take this car for an MOT. So hopefully it passes. Now guys, what do you think of this content? What do you think of the E30 M3 barn find? This is the second episode. The first episode was the reveal episode. It wasn't much of a challenge to get it started. And I think that's because the previous owner had been using it. It'd been laid up for 12, 15 months, 18 months max. It's got fresh fluids and everything there. It's running sweet. It's idling okay. It's not hunting as it was earlier on in the workshop, so that seems all fine. But anyway, guys, what do you think of the barn find? Are you following this series? So the next episode, we're gonna take it for an MOT, and fingers crossed it passes the MOT. So guys, you know what you need to do. You need to smash that like button, make sure you share our content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. The next episode will drop in about 4 weeks or so, because there's some other content that we've shot that will appear on the channel before the E30 M3 does. So guys, yeah, I think it's time for an MOT.